What's up, guys? Dustin McDangles back here with another video, and this is the franchise mode series with the San Jose Sharks. We are midway through the season, looking to do a little bit better than where we are right now, sitting 5th in the Pacific Division with 48 points. Obviously not too far behind first place, but we do have a couple of injuries here right now, but those players should be getting back here really soon. Our two top players, both Dylan Larkin and Thomas Chabot, will be back here shortly in January, so hopefully get them back into the lineup. But I do want to try and shake things up to try and get our lineup looking a little bit better and maybe sort of putting some pieces together. So first, before we do get into some simulations here today, we're going to hop into some trades. But before that, be sure to drop a thumbs up on this video if you guys are enjoying this series. Also, you guys have been awesome with the love and support with this series and all the other ones, so be sure to subscribe to the channel so you aren't missing out on any future content. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get into the episode today. Here we have a trade to get Furland out of the lineup. He isn't sort of doing anything really for us on that fourth line, as his role is a third line role, but just sort of how our team sort of lines up, he's not really fitting that. And sort of Hartman is a depth forward, obviously not doing the best sort of with the plus-minus territory, but he does fit our fourth line and is a depth forward. So other than sort of Furland, sort of third line, not really fitting the fourth, trying to see if this trade will go through. Maybe have to drop that pick for the 5th round to try and have this trade go through. Trade is rejected. Quite interesting there. Let's go ahead and throw in a late sort of 7th round pick here with Furland. That should go through, and we have gone ahead and got Hartman. So let's go ahead and hop into our next trade and hope that this one works as well. We've gone ahead and put Hartman into the 4th line, as he does sort of fit it. Obviously, it isn't sort of back to where it should be at a plus at all yet, just because we do have some injuries right now, sort of having the lineup all sort of messed up a little bit. But we've got him in there, sort of fits it a little bit better. Obviously, Gramble not fitting that line too great right now. But let's see if we move Shore back down here. He doesn't really fit that as well, so just sort of going to go with this lineup for now, and hope that we can sort of get our top dogs back from injury with Chabot and Larkin. Hopefully we can get them back into the lineup. But let's go ahead, simulate through here, probably halfway through January, hoping and praying that we do well throughout this month with the squad, performing decently well. Ferraro's been injured. Oh, that's tough. Ferraro out. Can we put Chabot in? I don't know. Man, that's tough. We're going to have to edit the lines here and hope and see that we can put sort of Chabot back into the lineup. Let's see if we can. He should be good to go. He is still considered sort of injured right now. Let's go ahead, throw him into the lineup. Hopefully that he should be fine moving forward. And multiple players are now eligible to be dressed. So let's go ahead, edit the lines. I believe that is Larkin who is able to get back into the lineup. So let's go ahead. We can go ahead and drop Bozak, who is scratched. Ferraro. Where? Give me a second while I try and find Larkin. So Larkin is back from injury, and we've also sort of changed the lineup up a little bit here, moving Burakovsky up to the 2nd line, giving him a chance here, getting that +3 on our 2nd line as well. So that might prove to be huge moving forward. As taking a look here at sort of the back end, Letang is sort of dropping in overall, which is tough to see, but we can go ahead and keep him into the lineup here, which I'm fine with right now. And then obviously we have Chabot back into the lineup. Taking a look here at our special teams, the power play is looking good with the +3, but we need to get Larkin back up on that top power play to get that +3 there. And let's sort of move things around here for this other power play. And there is our power play all set there. Hurdle, Bertuzzi, and Smith on the 2nd one with Shore and Merkley. Larkin, Domi, Kane, Gensel, and Chabot all on our first power play line, which is pretty stacked if you don't ask me. But let's go ahead, continue on through this simulation as we are moving up the rankings here in the Pacific Division. with a couple wins sort of in our bag this month, let's go ahead and finish out the rest of the month of January and hope that the boys do well. Oh, Larkin is out again. Man, oh man, that is such a shame as he was doing very well. Let's go ahead and throw Bozak back into the lineup and hope we can sort of continue on with sort of performing well. Back into the simulation here, we have a couple trade offers here. Ooh, Eric Hall would be a nice little shout, but not willing to give up a first-round pick. So we finally get a win here after 2 losses in a row against the Kings and Senators. 2 in a row there, 4 victories, and Gensel now out with a minor injury. It looks like he'll only be out till January 26th, so losing our top sort of forward does hurt a little bit, and all we have is Ferraro. So we're going to have to sort of make a sort of roster move here, bringing somebody up. Hopefully we are able to bring up a forward here in the system. Goudreau is our only possible option that we could bring up for that left wing position. Does he even really fit the lineup? I mean, he is playing pretty decently. 4th line scratch player. How is Darlene? Can we bring this kid up? He only really fits the 2nd line, so I'd rather bring up Goudreau up to the lineup here and then go ahead, sort of edit our lines and sort of see where we can go from there. Just because he does have experience, obviously, at the NHL level. Substitute him in there. Niederreiter on the first line does get that +3, which is fine with me. Man, Goudreau on that 3rd line is actually pretty deadly. Don't really want Bertuzzi on that last line right there, but we're going to have to sort of roll with that right now and sort of see how that goes moving forward. That is actually a really nice 3rd line there with the +3. Kind of want to try and keep that together once all these injuries are sort of back to normal. And then let's go ahead back to edit lines. We're going to have to sort of figure out the special teams here. So I will come back to you guys and we will go through the simulation here in just a second. Back in the simulation here, Devils fire their coach. We actually end up losing to the Tampa Bay Lightning, beating the Vancouver Canucks, and then finishing out sort of that month sort of with a loss to the New York Rangers, as it looks like we have a couple guys coming back from injury here. Obviously going to simulate a little bit more. We'll simulate up to the Rangers game and then go ahead and sort of edit our lineups once again here, as injuries have been a sort of big bug sort of this year with the Sharks. But, I mean, we're in the fight here for the Pacific, only a few points behind first place, but let's go ahead and sort out the lineup once again. So here's the new lineup, back with sort of our players back from injury. Gensel back on that top line, and actually sort of worked it around that we have a plus on our final sort of pairing here with Goudreau, Hartman, and Bozak. Not too bad there. Getting the extra +1 as well also on the 3rd line here. The only one sort of not really working is this sort of 2nd line, I should say here. Hurdle not really getting any pluses here with anyone. I mean, we could move Domi down, which, I mean, honestly, let's go ahead and do that. I'm perfectly fine with that, because once we get sort of Larkin back into the lineup, which is hopefully soon, that could sort of change our fortunes sort of moving forward. Let's see when he is reported to come back, and it's looking like February 9th, so he should be back here shortly into the lineup. But let's continue on here, sort of getting into this month of February. Obviously, the 9th of February is when Larkin comes back, so we can go ahead and simulate up to the 14th through the next 3 games. Ooh, man, that is a decent sort of trade offer. Bufflin was our 1st round pick this year. For a 1-year deal, I'm not really down for that, so we will go ahead and reject that offer. Big win against the Rangers. Simic has been injured. He's with the AHL, so we can have the head coach take care of that. Interesting. I'm going to sort of decline that to sort of keep some prospects in our lineup. I'm going to keep Larkin sort of just chilling because I don't want him to get re-injured. So we'll sit out with him for the next couple games and bring him back against his former Detroit Red Wings here, as we are sort of sliding down the sort of rankings here. Simic also ready to get back into the lineup, but let's go ahead and get sort of our best lines here. Brock McGinn. Man, we get picks out of that. That's a very interesting trade there. Kind of intrigued about this, even though sort of Brock McGinn is only on a 1-year deal. What is his overall? 80 overall. Doesn't fit any of our lines. It is a 4th line scratch player. So, I mean, if anything, we get some picks out of that. Man, that's tough. I like Gramble, but he hasn't really sort of fit in our lineup this year. He's 27 years old. Brock McGinn is 30 with a year left on his contract. He might also sort of take a cheap deal. Let's go ahead. Let's go with that deal. Gramble is out the door, but we do get some picks out of it. Let's go ahead, take a look at our lineups, and get Larkin back in. Here is our updated lineup, guys. After sort of all the injuries and everything, we finally have everyone back in the lineup, and we are all green finally. We've got the +3 on the top line, which is awesome to see. And we've got +1s throughout, which finally we found sort of that nice balance within our lineup. But honestly, the team is looking pretty good right now. Obviously, the defense last pair don't have sort of that +1 or anything, but, you know, it's not looking too terrible right now with the squad. Honestly, we could try and trade Larson here before the deadline, or even Merkley, just because Merkley hasn't really been growing. He is an elite medium potential, so I do want to try and keep him around and try and move Larson out. So let's go ahead and try and do that and see sort of what we can do. So we've got a trade here for Larson for Zabril. They both have 2 years left on their contract, both top 4, but Zabril has top 4 defensive medium with sort of, he is 26 years of age. This trade honestly would be a nice little trade that could go through. Trade was rejected. Honestly, if we add like a little pick here that we got sort of in that trade with, what's his face? Gramble, we could try and sneak that. Maybe, I don't want to give a 3rd round pick. Maybe let's do a 4th round pick with Larson for Zabril. I feel like that is a good deal, and the Boston Bruins have gone ahead and accepted that. So let's go ahead, sort of fix our lines here, and see if Zabril does sort of fit that lineup. He should indeed fit it. Let's go ahead and slot him in here on this second D pair here. Zabril, 2-way defender, slots in there, +3, strong +3 as well. So either way you sort of slice it, there will be a +3. That was honestly a great trade offer. Super excited to get Jakob Zabril into the lineup. As sort of the team is, we are pushing here for the playoffs as we look to finish strong here in this regular season. The team is looking great. We've got everyone back where they should be. They just need to stay healthy throughout the rest of this month. So let's go ahead and simulate through here. And, Riley Smith is injured. He's back February 22nd, but we need to stay healthy. We cannot keep getting injured. It's so frustrating to see this, but let's see if McGinn fits any of our lines here real quick. I mean, he does fit some of them. Let's see if Niederreiter fits better on that second line. And it looks like he will. So let's go ahead and throw Niederreiter into the lineup. And he keeps that +1, thankfully, on sort of that second line, as we got to sort of fix our sort of 3-on-3 here as well. Let's give the kid here, Zabril, a chance here on the 3-on-3. See what he can do out there. But obviously, nice big win there. Jordan Staal for a 1st-round pick. I don't think so. Not worth a 1st-round pick, that. But 3 wins in a row right now going for the boys. Make that 4 as we are able to beat the Devils. Can we beat the Kings as well? End up losing in the shootout, but able to at least pick up a point in that shootout loss. Smith is back to go into the lineup, so let's throw him back in there as he does fit that second line and is 84 overall. Get back into the simulation of the rest of this month here as we end up losing in the shootout once again, but this time to the Capitals, at least picking up a point in that effort. Big game here against the rival Vegas Golden Knights, as the simulation is taking some time here. Shea to Winnipeg for 1st and 2nd round pick. That is big time stuff there. Lowry, ooh, I don't want to give up Bufflin. That kid is sort of expected to do big things for us in the future. But were we able? We were able to beat. Ooh, wow! Big trade offer here. Robbie Fabry. Oh, they want a first-round pick plus a Rourke. I don't think so. I was gonna say Fabry would be pretty sweet to have into the lineup, but not really wanting to do that as we are getting closer and closer to this trade deadline. A couple trades going on here as we've got a big trade offer. 2 first-round picks for Teravainen, who's also gonna want a new deal this upcoming year. That is, wow, that is crazy. 87 overall, fits the first line. Left winger, all power play lines. I don't want to take him on just because we already have Jake Gensel sort of in our lineup, and he's been doing really well this year. So obviously had to drop that. Nick Bukestad here for O'Rourke. O'Rourke, I don't want to give him up because he is sort of a big part of our future for the defensive depth. 76 overall, honestly not having sort of the best of years in the AHL. We've got him on that top line. He does have 3 years left in his deal. I'd rather hold on to him and sort of grow him a little bit here. So we will go ahead, decline that trade, end up losing to the Capitals, and sort of the last game of the month against the Pittsburgh Penguins is a loss as well. So let's go ahead, simulate through sort of this month of March and hope for some good things here as well, as we've been playing pretty well recently. Shootout win there against the Blackhawks and the Florida Panthers, getting into games against the Kings and Ducks. 4-game winning streak right now. Another game against the Ducks and another victory up against the Penguins once again. Samsonov available to play. When was he ever out? I don't ever remember getting a notification that Samsonov was indeed out. I'm not too sure about that, but we finally snap our winning streak against the Penguins as we are... Ryan Pollock is out, so that's unfortunate there as we got to throw Ferraro into the lineup here in place of Pollock on that bottom pairing. Does he at least give the +1? He does not, so Zabriel... We're going to move Letang down to the sort of bottom pairing, move Ferraro up to the second pair for that +3, as we have 2 losses in a row. Coming down to the wire here for the division as we are in the hunt for winning the Pacific Division. Got to be able to string some wins here together at the end of the season here. As Pollock fully healed, we got to get him back into the lineup because we want sort of our best foot forward. Taking Ferraro back out of the lineup, Pollock back into the lineup, and then I would sort of put Letang back up there to get that +3 on Letang. A win against the Oilers, a loss against the Coyotes. We have clinched a playoff spot, which is nice, but it is just, I'd rather have sort of a home ice advantage sort of in the playoffs as we've lost a couple games in a row here. Can we at least finish off the regular season strong and healthy as we are losing? Finally beat the Coyotes. Game against the Golden Knights away from home. We're able to win that. And can we break the 100-point mark? Bertuzzi is out. We're going to have to sort of throw in another player into the lineup, unfortunately, and that will have to be Brock McGinn, the new man that we got sort of off the trades. We'll put him on the bottom pairing, moving Hartman up, giving sort of the +1s all around, and we do beat the Vancouver Canucks, giving us some potential home ice advantage, at least eclipsing the 100-point mark for this season. Let's see how our team did. Jake Gensel leading the way, 81 points in 79 games played. Pretty awesome to see that he was able to sort of put together a pretty good season for himself, even though he was injured for a little bit of it. Larkin, 64 points in 63 games, obviously injured for a lot of the season. Pretty decent numbers. Max Domi putting up some good numbers, 65 in 82 games. Kane, 58 and 82, not too bad. Shavat, 50 and 78. Letang coming in big, 48 points in 82 games, +21. Honestly, that is great for the old man. Playing really well there. I do also want to check out our goaltenders. How did Samsonov fare this year? As we look at the goaltender, Samsonov, 38, 24, and 3. 4 shutouts, 911 save percentage, and a 2.66 goals against. Honestly, those are some pretty solid numbers. Even Brissett there, or Brusset, however you say his name. 10-7, not great, but 913 with a 2.59 save percentage, or goals against average. Not too terrible, and we can go ahead take a look here at the standings as we finished third in our division, just 1 point away from actually winning the division as the Blues. We would have won our conference, which would have been pretty awesome. Obviously, the Montreal Canadiens look like they won the President's Trophy, which is pretty crazy to see. Let's go ahead and advance a couple days here and take a look at what the Stanley Cup playoff bracket is going to look like sort of moving forward here as the NHL regular season has come to an end. The first round opponent for us is going to be the the Edmonton Oilers. Playing Draisaitl and McDavid is going to be a tough task for the boys. We've got the playoff picture here. We've got the Avalanche and Wild, the Blues and Flames, Sharks and Oilers, and battle in the desert between the Coyotes and the Golden Knights. Over in the Eastern Conference, we've got the Caps and Rangers, Hurricanes and Senators, Leafs and Lightning, and then the Canadiens versus the Florida Panthers. I am feeling really good about our team's hopes right now. They have been playing pretty well this season, and sort of happy about all the moves and that we were able to sort of figure out our lineup a little bit. Obviously, I could use some more tweaking and try and get a couple more pluses, but pretty happy overall. Let me know what you guys think and sort of want in the comments down below with sort of moves you guys want me to try and make. But that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, be sure to drop a thumbs up on it. I hope you guys have a great day, and as always, stay dusty.